Grandpa always has a lot of great ideas. This time he came up with the idea of having moon games. So he decided to take his grandkids to the moon. Grandpa was planning the first ever moon games. Athletes from all over the world would travel by lunar transport to compete in track and field events on the moon. He would, of course, bring along his grandkids, Ivy, Levi, Elijah, Hunter, and Ezra, who imagined what they might do on the moon. Hunter would see how fast he could run. Levi wanted to kick a soccer ball into space. Elijah wondered how far he could throw a football. Ivy couldn't wait to dance on the moon. Ezra? He would paint the beautiful moonscapes. The moon would not be quite as they imagined. They would each need a specially designed helmet with a breathing attachment. Hunter's had a bolt of lightning for running. Ivy's was pink, her favorite color. Ezra's had a paintbrush and a palette. A football was on Elijah's, and Levi's had a soccer ball. Now it was time to board the moon transport along with all those who would take part in the games as athletes or officials. Grandpa made sure all the kids were strapped into their seats. Aunt Karen, the flight attendant, was giving instructions. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Space Adventures Flight number 1972. We are so glad to have you on board. Please make sure your seatbelts are secure. Once we reach our cruising orbit, the no floating sign will be turned off. Floating will then be allowed in the floating section of the spaceship. Now make sure your seat back is in its takeoff position. Thank you for your attention. We will be landing shortly. Up, up they went. Soon they were orbiting the Earth. The moon grew larger and larger as they came closer. What beauty! They were amazed when they looked back at Earth and saw how small it had become. It wasn't long before they found themselves on the moon. Grandpa had made sure everything was ready for the games to begin. The high jumpers would wear 2 25-pound ankle bracelets to help them land in the pit after their jump. While fastening his ankle weight, one jumper thought he saw an eye blink open and shut in a rock by his shoe. Must be the moon gravity affecting my brain, he figured. Next, the pole vault began. The pole was 70 feet tall. A net above the pole vault area, kept afloat by small jet copters, let the vaulters clear the bar without spinning into space. By end stay, all the excitement and effort of competing made the athletes mighty hungry and thirsty. They sipped energy drinks and ate protein snacks through the food portal in their helmets. Some competitors threw the empty wrappers and containers on the moon's surface, thinking, who would it hurt? No one lives on the moon. The next morning, to everyone's amazement, they arrived at the moon games site to find that a huge stone stadium had appeared overnight. It was a mystery even to Grandpa. The day's events were shot put and javelin. The stadium was built with one end open so that the shot put and javelin throwers could throw as far as possible. Because the throwers could throw so much farther on the moon than on the Earth, each shot and javelin had a GPS system so the officials could find where they landed and decide the winners. Ivy was delighted with the stage and decided to dance on it while the events took place. Before her first pirouette, a voice from the stage floor called out, "We hope you enjoy the stage and stadium." Bending down to where the voice came from, she noticed a little rock. When she bent down, she saw what appeared to be a one-eyed ball looking back at her, but when the eye shut, it just looked like a rock. She reached down and touched the small rock, and the eye opened again. The first water she saw on the moon was a tear forming in the little eye. Suddenly the little eye began to talk, or at least Ivy heard the words in her mind as clearly as if they were spoken. "The stadium is a gift from the moon people to you. We ask only that you don't tell anyone we are here, or Earth people will bring their garbage and spoil the moon. As we circled your Earth, we looked on it with joy until it became spoiled, and now we are afraid Earth people might do the same thing to our home." Tears now dropped from Ivy's eyes. She promised, "I will never tell anyone, and I will work hard to make the Earth beautiful again." As the games ended, Ivy, Elijah, Ezra, Levi, and Hunter jumped from place to place and made sure there was no garbage left behind. When they saw the kids cleaning up the trash, the athletes competed with each other to see who could collect the most. It didn't take long since they could jump so high and far. They all enjoyed the flight back to Earth, looking back at the clean moon they had left. The Earth was still a wondrous sight from space for Earth people who didn't have such keen eyes as moon people. Ivy opened her shoe bag to make sure she remembered her moon ballet shoes. On top of the shoes was a moon rock with an engraved message. Ivy, thank you for taking such good care of our home. Please come back. Love, Moon People. Ivy kept her promise. She did all she could to make the earth the beautiful place God created it and its moon to be. Grandpa was very proud of her, and along with Levi, Elijah, and Hunter, helped Ivy. And Ezra, he kept painting beauty. If you want to learn about the moon, here's a little bit more information. It's hard to imagine our night sky without the moon. There would not be the one large, soft, nearby light, only the faraway twinkling of stars. People of all times have seen the same moon we see when they looked into the sky at night. The moon hardly changes at all over thousands of years. Here are some of the things to know before traveling to the moon. Everything weighs about 1/6 of what it would on Earth. That's why our astronauts could jump so high when they visited there. We would see the footprints of astronauts who walked on the moon's surface. There's no wind to blow or rain to wash them away. If you travel to the moon, there's no air to breathe, and the temperature changes from a very hot 253 degrees to an extremely cold -451 degrees. That is why astronauts had to wear special suits which supply air and protect them from temperature extremes.